Hey, it's Malachi Thompson here of Ventures 360 channel. I am here just to talk today briefly about something that I have been finding intriguing. It's the five advantages of joining the military, but also disadvantages, some of the disadvantages in relation to those five advantages. And you may hear some noise in the background. That's going to be because I'm actually in one of my side window rooms in my house here in Germany. But anyway, it's just a brief discussion here. I just want to have with the audience here, the community, and let you know that our mission here at Adventures 360 is to help veterans transition from the military to civilian life successfully. And this means that in order to transition successfully, you have to be able to own your genius, who you truly are, and to lead your field once you get out of the military, and then make an impact in the world. Not to say you haven't made an impact in the world already, but a greater impact in the world. Your true calling in life, your reason for being here. All right, so without delay, I'd like to just go right into this discussion because this video is going to be really quick here. But some of the five advantages, the number one advantage for most people joining the military, a lot of people join the military, one of the advantages of joining the military is lifelong sense of community. Okay. Right off the bat, most people, they build the friendships, they get in, they learn, they connect with the families. They have, I call my buds, for example, from, 15, 20 years ago. And, we got this common connection that's actually great because I can talk about things with these individuals that they are very connected to because they either went through those same events with me or they have knowledge of those events and we have a common bond. That's a great thing that actually is an advantage, and also in the military, and also advantage on the outside of the military because you can keep in contact with those same people and share your experience with those individuals. And the fact is, if you think about it, once you separate from the military, your life continues, regardless if you think about it or not, that it does. It actually continues, and these people are helpful. And if you go through some type of trial situation, you can actually talk to these individuals and let them know, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And guess what? They know you, and they're a good source of support, and they can help motivate you and encourage you through the different phases of life. You get that, next chapter going. So that's the first one. The first advantage of joining the military is, again, lifelong sense of community. And this happened to be a great thing that actually goes on the other side of the fence as well. Very seldom do I see people that form a bond in the military that doesn't transition outside the military. Most people that have relationships and friendships in the military to continue those relationships outside the military, which is highly encouraged. All right, so now we're off to number two. Number two would happen to be world travel. I like this one personally because I like to travel around. I've been traveling around the world and, going through Europe and Africa, for example. You get a chance to see the different cultures. The military allows and affords you those opportunities to be stationed in locations where it's really cool. And you get a chance to get out and see and meet new people, see and experience their cultures. And the reality is with that, it opens the aperture to appreciate their cultures, their language, how they worship, for example. Even though it may not be the same what you believe, it's still eye-opening to see what people have done for thousands of years. And the reality is you're in the middle of civilization in different places, which is a great thing. The military has afforded you to do those things. The downside, though, a lot of times what I see is a lot of people, when they transition out of the military, is they don't continue to do that same thing of traveling and seeing the world because they now see it as I can't afford it, don't have the time to. I would love to. However, I got to focus on this piece of retirement, either second retirement check or whatever it might be. Hey, that's not a good thing. I would say the reality is you only live once. Stay focused on the big picture. You live once. Enjoy your life. Get out, see the world. Continuously experience those experiences that you are accustomed to of meeting new people, appreciating those cultures, learning about the suffering and looking at how you can impact the world in those environments. So life perspective, are always great to have, regardless of what phase of life you're in. So you see it in the military, and then you can also take it on the civilian side of things. So that's the second thing. All right, we're going to transition to number three. Number three is going to be people join the military, which is one great advantage of education and training assistance, right? I love this one because this is another one that I love because, a lot of students in this in our country, for example, are struggling to pay student debt. They're focused on, oh God, how am I going to pay my debt? And I can't get a job because, I can't get a good job because I just can't find a good job that's going to pay my debt off. So the reality is, having the education benefits allows you to apply for degree programs and gain your education, most of the time free of charge, from civilian institutions on the government's dime, which is a great thing. That's a big plus. What I see as an issue, though, a lot of times with military, and this is the negative side that transitions out, is a lot of military seem to think that they're not qualified because they don't, quote unquote, have that paper degree. Paper degree doesn't make you unqualified, okay? It doesn't make you unqualified. What a paper degree does is tell people that you've completed a certain course of action that's been completed, right? It tells them that you've completed a certain course of training, education, and the reality is your experience in the military, in many cases, count for a even equal or a higher level of experience than having just a college degree. So I would argue that you're in a better position than a lot of the students because you've had that, whether it's 4 years of education or 4 years of degree, 4 years of job experience or 20 years, whatever it might be, you have that experiences. Those various experiences make you more qualified in many situations than the person that's graduating straight out of college and all they have is a college diploma. So here's an example of what I mean. You have an individual that served, say, in the military. I call it in the Air Force, for example, the Force Support Squadron within the military personnel flight. This individual may have held different positions from the beginning of learning technician, for example, all the way to senior enlisted leader, for example, right? This individual, because of their experience, has worked in the military personnel flight, which is equivalent to an HR department in a company, mid-level company or big-level company, Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 or Fortune 50, whatever it might be. And the reality is, what you'll see is that individual sometimes will say, well, I don't have the degree and I don't have this and I don't have that. I need more certifications. The reality is you have 25, sometimes 30 years, sometimes 4 or 5 years. Those years translate to real world experience that is very beneficial. And many companies are looking for those experiences and they will hire you if you know who you truly are as an individual. And you tailor your resume to actually answer the requirement that they're looking for. So that individual could technically be let's say, HR consultant. Okay. You can actually legally be called an HR consultant. And it would be no issue with it because that's what you've been working as a HR consultant for however many years you've been in the military. Or if you're a senior enlisted leader, for example, you could call yourself a senior HR consultant, so human resources consultant, and demand more money and command more money and actually earn more money doing that. So that's another thing that I've seen. So great to get the education if you can, when you can. Highly encourage, get it. It's free of charge. Get it done. It takes a little time, takes dedication, determination. Get it done, knock it out. But if you graduate from the military, separate from the military, and retire without getting it done, you may have to rely on your VA benefits, for example, which is a good thing. GI Bill, 9/11 GI Bill is a good program. Use it if you want to get, education to meet specific goals that you want to accomplish. However, don't use that as the crutch to say that you're not qualified to get the specific job you're going for if it doesn't require degree specific. Like if you want to become a doctor, of course, you got to have a doctorate degree to become a doctor in medicine, for example. Or if you want to become a lawyer, most states you have to go to law school to have a debated practice law. Okay, just an example. All right, number four. The fourth reason most people join, a lot of people join the military, is because healthcare benefits, awesome benefits. You get TRICARE, for example. A lot of times you don't have to pay anything out of pocket for it. Your family's taken care of. And the reality is it's great within active duty. On the other side of the fence, when you transition out of the military, however, it becomes a different picture because guess what? You're no longer active duty. And in some situations, they treat you a little different because you're no longer active duty. I've heard stories of retirees having to go on waiting lists because they didn't have space to see them in time. So the reality is you're waiting potentially longer waits to have your medical situation looked at because you're no longer active duty. So you need to, in essence, plan for retirement with the mindset that you may have to acquire additional health insurance and opportunities to be seen by additional doctors or clinics that will maybe not be covered under TRICARE, whatever the retirement program, insurance program is. So that's one of the pluses is while you're on active duty, you get free health care. On the other side, when you leave active duty, your health care may not be free. It's probably reduced for the most part, I'm thinking, based on what I've seen from TRICARE retiree programs is reduced. However, there is a potential to wait in line, longer lines to be seen. So that's one of the negatives. All right, the fifth thing. All right, here we go. Fifth thing for you is to consider that is an advantage for joining the military is the physical fitness and the self-discipline, right? Love it because you're paid to stay fit. You're paid to show up to work every morning. In the Army, I know for sure they have drill at morning, 6 o'clock or 5:30 in the morning, and you're running every day or every morning, or you're doing something physical-wise to get yourself in peak condition so that you can thrive under stressful events when times come. So, which is great because when you can show up and thrive under stressful conditions, your civilian counterparts a lot of times will be breaking under those same conditions. It's because you've been mentally and physically prepared to do those things, which is awesome. The thing about it, though, what I see as a disadvantage, as from a physical perspective, is because it's been drilled into you that you have to show up. Because guess what? You're gonna do a PT test every 12 months, most of the time, or 6 months, whatever it might be. You'll do that. However, what I've seen though is a lot of military members toward the end of their time in service, they kind of slack off of doing what they're supposed to be doing in the physical fitness arena. Instead of going to the gym and working out like you should, you're like, I don't have to because I'm about to retire. And then you start gaining belly fat. And guess what? Over time, you start losing your edge. And in essence, what you're doing is you're not going to be able to perform at the highest levels when you transition over. So instead of thinking about your health in a more of a, I got to do it now because I'm on active duty and it's required, think about it from a long-term perspective. Your children, your wife, your loved ones, your friends, they need you around. So do what's in the best interest of them because they want you around and you love your friends and your family. So do what's in the best interest of them, right? And which is in the best interest of your best interest as well. Take care of yourself. Stay physically active. Don't become the person that says, well, I'm going to retire. I'm no longer going to work out because I don't have to take a PT test anymore, or I'm good to go. I can sleep in as long as I want, and I'm just going to stay in the bed, and I don't have to do anything. Don't be that person because ultimately what's going to do is going to cut your life short, and your self-discipline goes away, and you're not going to be able to thrive under the most stressful conditions. You were made to be a successful individual because guess what? The military gave us something that most people don't have. That's self-discipline, the ability to thrive under stressful situations, the ability to show up, to be innovative, the ability to show up and solve problems when things are not perfect. You don't have to be told what to do because you have the initiative because it was put into you. You have to have the initiative. You don't have to be told how to lead because you know how to lead and you know what leadership is. So again, my point is there are great perks in joining the military. And some of the ones we talked about today, we talked about 5 really. And those 5, the first one was the ability to have a lifelong sense of community. which is, again, essential to have. Leverage this as you go through your life from the military active duty to become a civilian. Continue to leverage the sense of community that you have, and it's going to serve you well because you have that social support that's going to be there when you go into your trying situations. You can always call your bud or your ex CEO or whoever it might be that was your inspiration or teammate when you were on active duty or in the guard or reserve. Call them up and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Can you give me some pointers? Or, hey, I just need somebody to listen to me about the situation. Good deal. You want to have that social support. The other thing we talked about was world travel. Number 2, world travel. You travel in the military. Make sure you continue to travel when you leave the military. Don't just become, set in your ways. This is my couch here. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to watch TV. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to watch the latest Netflix. You don't have time for that. Get out and see the world. Get out and see the world. Continue to travel. Continue to have your life. Continue to thrive. Don't just be focused on, I'm going to get another retirement check and then I'll be set and then eventually I'll be able to live. No, get out and do the world travel. Continue to travel. Continue to live. Continue to have time for yourself to recuperate and to grow yourself to be what you need to be. Number 3, we talked about education and training assistance. Very key. One of my favorites. Get your education, formal education if you can. I highly advise it. It's paid for. If you just apply and get into it to school, take your coursework, pass it, and get your degree, great. However, don't let that be the only thing that's going to define who you are. Paper doesn't define who you are. Your goal is to be able to take what you've been doing, getting results for the U.S. government, the U.S. military specifically, and transition that into the civilian sector and get results for the military or civilian sector. Get out there and make it happen. Make it happen because that's what you've done for the last either 4 years or 20 years or 15 years or 10 years, however many years you've served. So it's great. Translate your experience into civilian terminology. And if you need help, guess what? I'm going to do a video. Probably a couple videos from now, I'll do a video on that, how to actually successfully transition your military experience into civilian speak so that you can get the highest paying career that you want, that you desire, because you don't want to just have to work and show up to work grudgingly every day to be, that's your life. No, you don't want that. You want to have a life where you love it. You want to make impact. You want to lead your field. And you want to own the genius that you've been given by God. Okay. Number 4, we talked about the benefit of having healthcare. Healthcare is great in the military active duty. Healthcare is still probably great on the other side, but it's a little different. And so you want to do your homework and find out what the differences are. Understand that you may have some wait times. Understand that you may have additional healthcare that you may have to pick up, especially for your family coverage. You may have to pick up additional healthcare to make sure they're protected and covered. And then there may be some waiting lines. That's what you want to make sure you're aware of. And the last one is going to be your physical fitness and your self-discipline. Okay, physical fitness and self-discipline. In the military, we've been thriving under pressure because we've been training and physically fit and working out and keeping the right nutrition, right? When you transition out of the military, you want to continue doing the same thing of eating the right things, working out the right way. Make sure you understand it is a lifestyle. It is not just a session to get ready to do your test. It is a lifestyle that you've adopted so that you could be a peak performer, high performer, a go-getter, a super champion that's going to go out and win in the new career that you're going to go into after you leave the military. Okay. If you like this video, if you like what I talked about in this video, please like this video, subscribe and share, and you turn on the notifications so that you can be notified when the next video is produced and put into the community. All right, guys, I appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. Hey, guess what? You're going to transition, regardless if you want to or not, from the military to civilian life. So this channel, we prepare you to do it the right way. All right, we're out.